Dana White says that Conor McGregor still is going to return, but not in 2024. Conor McGregor quickly kind of tried to debunk this message. I think that's what McGregor does. He's just all talk. He's trying to just keep everyone hyped. Like, oh no, we're going December. It just keeps his fans right there at the hype level. But Dana White kind of threw him under the bus a little bit. I'm not grieving this as like, oh my God, McGregor's not fighting in 2024. To me, this fight's not going to happen. Like, I've already had my dues with it that I've already assured it's not going to happen. It's been over 2 years now, and we still haven't gotten this McGregor-Michael Chandler fight. And I feel so bad for Michael Chandler, which seems like now is such a controversial opinion because I see everybody online trashing Michael Chandler for waiting and for picking a fight with McGregor. He should have known he wasn't going to fight. Like, you can't blame Michael Chandler because Michael Chandler is, since day one he stepped in the octagon, day one since he's been getting main event fights, has learned that you pick the easiest fight for the most amount of money. And a Conor McGregor fight would have been the most money he's probably ever seen after a fight, doubled, right? That's why he's waiting. And that's why he was okay with waiting. And you can't blame a guy for waiting to try and get a big payday, especially against a fighter that I think he had a pretty good chance of beating. I think most of the MMA world probably thought he had a pretty good chance at beating. I think the odds thought he had a pretty good chance at beating. He was like minus 120 against McGregor. And I think I understand why the UFC needs McGregor to fight. It brings a lot of eyeballs. It brings those casual viewers to the TV watching the fight. It gets people to buy the fight. It gets people who never even watched MMA in their life to sit down when they're at a party or something and watch a McGregor fight. That's why they need the fight, right? That's why they want the fight. I think that's why fans around the world are so enraged that McGregor's not coming back this year. I think if you're a hardcore fan, though, I don't think you care that much. Like, and you obviously care, but I don't think you care to the extent where it's like you're like in distraught about it. Because I think if you're a hardcore fan, you know McGregor's not McGregor anymore. He's not going to be prime McGregor. He's not going to be A-tier McGregor. It's kind of like 40-year-old Undertaker or 50, 60-year-old Undertaker coming out or 60-year-old Goldberg coming out for a wrestling match, right? It's great, it's special, but it's not top talent-wise. It's not going to be a top world championship A-class fight. And I know there's a lot of people out there that probably think McGregor still is an A-class world championship material, but he's not, okay? He's not. And that's why I think if you're a main MMA fan, you love fighting. You just love high-level fights. You love that. It doesn't make you that upset that he's not coming back. And I frankly believe at this moment that we will not or nor ever see McGregor walking into an octagon again. I think that's the way you have to go look at it moving forward, just so you're not disappointed when that does happen. And if it does happen, then it happens, and it's great, and it's nostalgia. It's not no monster fight. It's not no Adesanya du Plessis, this top 1% world championship type of fight. We don't know what type of McGregor we're going to get in the octagon. We don't even know what Chandler we're getting in this octagon, right? I couldn't wait for this fight because I knew I was going to bet Chandler. I knew Chandler would have been the side. Everyone's going to bet McGregor. The line even told me it was Michael Chandler to bet. Now I'm a little concerned because now not only haven't seen McGregor in a long time, we haven't seen Michael Chandler in a long time. And that's what I feel bad about the most because Michael Chandler could have got a fight already in between this. In between just waiting, he could have got a fight. He could have got anybody. Pick your poison, he could have fought anybody in between this whole drama. Of course, the fight was going to happen, and then McGregor dropped out with a toe injury, which, okay, I know there's multiple people that have fought with toe injuries before. That's not like some all godly excuse for him to not be able to fight, right? So I already found that as a way of McGregor being like, I don't think I'm going to return, right? So I kind of already had my grief with him not returning. The rumor was it was going to be announced as the UFC 307 main event, and if that was a plan to try and get it together for UFC 307, UFC 307 is going to have a crazy main event of Pennington and Juliana Pena, which I am a Juliana Pena fan, but that's not going to get me to go and buy a UFC fight. Nor, I think, not many people around the country is going to buy a UFC fight for Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena. So ultimately, I think the McGregor keeps putting the UFC in a very hard place, keeps putting Michael Chandler in a very hard place, as now we haven't seen Michael Chandler fight since 2022, which is a little ridiculous. I was a little hyped for the fight when he was on The Ultimate Fighter. They kind of got me a little going for it, but quickly when it was like, oh yeah, we're not doing it this year, that year The Ultimate Fighter was, I kind of, part of me was like, this fight's not happening, and I'm sure we're going to see McGregor or Chandler in a octagon against someone else soon, right? But we haven't even seen that. So obviously the UFC wants to get it together. I think it's on McGregor, and to me, it just, I don't think it's going to get together right now. I hope it does for all of us, for the sake of the UFC, for the sake of the sport, for the sake of the company. I hope we see McGregor versus Chandler at some point, but it's kind of getting annoying at this point. I'm Josh Wissey. Thank you. Subscribe.